Nepal has witnessed widespread protests over the last few days. I'm Vanika Dhawan, and over the next few minutes, I will tell you what's going on in India's next door neighbor. Growing public frustration with the government in Nepal has triggered calls for return of monarchy in the country, and protests in Kathmandu have been led by Rashtriya Prajatantra Party of Kamal Thapa and Citizens Campaign headed by Durga Prasad. In fact, on Friday, protesters led by these marched towards the parliament building. These demonstrators are demanding the restoration of monarchy in Nepal and its status as a Hindu kingdom, while calling for the return of Gyanendra Shah. I will tell you more about Nepal's former king, Gyanendra Shah, in just a bit. But first, let me tell you how the ruling coalition has reacted to these pro-monarchy protests. Now, Nepal's Prime Minister KP Oli said on Monday that former King Gyanendra Shah was trying to disrupt social harmony and create social division. On Sunday, the ruling coalition demanding Gyanendra Shah's arrest over the March 28th violence. This demand came from the members of Communist Party of Nepal Unified Marxist-Leninist and the Nepali Congress. So, who is Gyanendra Shah? Gyanendra Shah is Nepal's last king before the constitutional monarchy was abolished in 2008. He stepped down in 2008 after the country abolished monarchy that year, ending almost 240 years of dynastic rule. Gyanendra was the last monarch of Nepal, and he ascended to the throne after the assassination of King Birendra in June 2001. This was the Nepalese royal massacre when 9 members of the royal family, including King Birendra and Queen Aishwarya, were killed in a mass shooting at the palace. The government appointed probe team named Crown Prince Dipendra as the perpetrator. Crown Prince Dipendra had shot himself in the head and slipped into a coma. He was declared the king while comatose, but he died 3 days later. It was then that Gyanendra Shah became the king of Nepal. However, his rule was termed authoritarian, and Nepal witnessed large-scale protests in 2006 demanding Gyanendra to give up his rule. He remained the constitutional head without political or executive power until 2005, when in February that year, he dismissed the prime minister and the cabinet. In 2006, nationwide protests known as the People's Movement Jana Andolan II erupted against Gyanendra's direct rule due to his dissolution of the government, suspension of democratic rights, and imposition of authoritarian control. 19 years later, Nepal is witnessing protests again, this time to bring back its last monarch, Gyanendra Shah. So what has triggered these protests? There has been widespread public anger over corruption and involvement of politicians in alleged scams in Nepal. Between 2015 and 2025, Nepal has seen 13 different prime ministers in less than a decade, contributing to political instability. Political power has frequently shifted among a limited number of parties, resulting in short-lived governments. This instability has led to some citizens backing the reinstatement of the monarchy. The political environment has also adversely affected Nepal's economic development. Rampant corruption has deterred foreign investment, leading to limited job opportunities within the country. Consequently, many Nepalis seek employment abroad. Around 75 to 80,000 people leave the country every month to seek employment abroad. Corruption remains a pervasive issue affecting various sectors, including politics, business, and civil society. Nepal's score of 35 out of 100 on Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index in 2023 indicates significant corruption concerns. This endemic corruption weakens institutions, hampers economic development, and erodes public trust in governance. The two major political forces in Nepal are the communist parties, including the CPN-UML and CPN-Maoist Center and the Nepali Congress. KP Sharma Oli of the CPN-UML is currently the Prime Minister, having assumed office in July 2024. As part of a coalition agreement, Oli and Sher Bahadur Deuba of the Nepali Congress will alternate as Prime Minister until the next general election in 2027. Gyanendra has not made a direct statement on his possible comeback politically, but can he? Political analysts view this prospect as unlikely given the substantial constitutional changes required, including an amendment that would necessitate significant parliamentary support, a scenario currently improbable because the monarchists hold very few seats in the legislature. However, considering what Nepal has witnessed in the past, nothing can be ruled out.